I'm Angelina, and my story, it's kind of crazy. But before we continue, please like and subscribe to the channel. My mom worked as a maid at the mansion of a wealthy family, and because she couldn't afford to send me to school, I went with her to work. By the time I was 8, I was helping her with small chores around the house. The owner was a really rich CEO who was never at home, and his wife was really self-obsessed. She left her daughter, Maddie, with the house staff to get beauty treatment so often that when Maddie was little, she called my mom, her mom.
Mom.
I didn't mind, because even though she was a couple of years younger than me, she was my best friend. One day, Maddie and I were just settling down to watch a movie in her room when someone flung the door open. It was Maddie's mom, and she did not look happy to see me.
You girl, what do you think you're doing in my daughter's room?
Mom, don't talk to her like that. She's my friend.
Her mom gave me a glare and walked away. The next day, Maddie's mom called me to her chambers, and I just knew I was in trouble. When I walked in, she got up and said,
I can see you're spending so much time in my daughter's room when she's at school, so I've decided to enroll you in her school too, and you can work afterwards. No need to thank me. Close the door behind you.
School! I think Jaren went to tell Maddie the great news. She seemed excited too, but when we got there together, she asked me to walk a few steps away from her, and once she met her friends, she disappeared. What was going on? I found out soon enough when I was sitting alone in the cafeteria at lunch. A group of girls walked up to me and put a big backpack on the table.
You're Maddie's maid, right? She said, we can ask you to do anything. After school, carry this to my car. I'll be waiting.
Take these assignments with you. I expect them to be ready by tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow morning. Get me a latte and a donut. Here's the money. Keep the change.
What on earth? I ran out to look for Maddie and found her in the girls' bathroom. Maddie, why are you telling people that I'm your maid? I thought we were friends.
Well, Angelina, of course we are, but only at home. I have a reputation to maintain here, and I can't mingle with someone like you in public. You get it, right? See you at home, bestie.
She walked away while I stood there shocked. Was this the same sweet Maddie I know my entire life? Maddie and her friends were always dumping their homework on me and making me run around for errands, and I was getting exhausted. I didn't even get time to study for a big math test and ended up with a big fat D. Later that day, when Maddie and her gang walked up to me and handed me a list of errands for our party, I tore it up. I've had enough. You guys have hands. Don't you do this yourselves?
Oh, that's rich coming from someone as poor as you. You know I pay for your school, right?
Before I could reply, I heard a boy's voice behind me.
Cut it out, Maddie. You don't pay for anything. Now buzz off before I tell Dad what a brat you've been.
It was Dwayne, Maddie's older brother. I'd seen him around the house, but he mostly kept to himself. Maddie looked furious and stomped off angrily. Dwayne smiled at me.
Sorry, she can be a jerk sometimes. Don't let her push you around. And since you're new here, let me know if you need help with something.
Well, actually, there is one thing. Are you any good at math? Because I'm really sucking at it. He started tutoring me at home, and by the time 7th grade ended, I was getting straight A's. But my grades weren't the only things that changed. As I grew older, I seemed to be catching the attention of a lot of guys. One day, I wrapped up my chores quickly for a movie date with a really cute guy. And just as I was leaving, Maddie screamed.
Oh, Angelina.
When I reached her room, I wanted to pull her hair out. She had dumped every single pair of footwear she owned on the floor and handed me a toothbrush.
These are really delicate shoes, so take your time and clean them with this. I need them all by tomorrow morning.
How many shoes are you going to wear at a time? Can't I do the rest later?
Mom, Angelina, and her mom might need to be let go.
I had no choice but to do what she said. My day got canceled, and well, this was the first of many. Maddie always found some way to ruin things for me, and slowly all the boys stopped asking me out. One day when Dwayne and I were studying, I caught him looking at me. What is it?
You know Maddie is just threatened by you, right?
Threatened? By me? Why?
You're smarter, prettier, and so much nicer than her. You don't think she knows that?
I could feel myself blushing hard. Just then, Mom called me to help with the dishes, and I floated away on cloud 9. A little later, Maddie appeared, throwing a letter on the kitchen table.
This friend of mine really likes you, Kundos. Why? He's really shy, so he asked me to give you this.
And why are you suddenly being nice to me?
I just said he's my friend, didn't I? I'm not doing. This for you? Just write a response quickly, so I can hand it to him tomorrow.
When I opened the letter, I felt really flattered, but I also cringed a bit. Dear Angelina, or should I call you my angel? I wish I could talk to you, but your beauty just makes me speechless. I wrote back and kept an eye on her the next day to see who she handed the letter to. But she was surrounded by so many boys that it was impossible to tell. The next week, she gave me another letter. Hi, my angel. I think I have the courage to face you. Meet me behind the school tonight at 7 p.m. I was really curious about who this guy was, so I decided to go to the meeting spot. Half an hour went by, and it was getting chilly. Suddenly, Maddie and her friends jumped out of the shadows, laughing hard and recording me.
You thought someone was interested in you? How dumb are you made?
What? This was all you guys?
Duh. Just because some losers asked you out doesn't mean you're something special. Gosh, you're so pathetic. Poor Cinderella waiting desperately for Prince Charming.
I was almost about to attack her when suddenly someone took my hand. It was Dwayne. He pulled me away, and we started walking back home.
I overheard Maddie telling her friends how she wrote those letters to play this dumb prank on you. She's so immature.
She and I used to be best friends. I don't understand why she hates me so much. As tears pour down my face, Dwayne put his jacket around my shoulders, pulling me a little closer.
I don't know why anyone would want to lose you as a friend. You are something special.
Before I knew it, he leaned in for a kiss, and it was amazing. Even though the video of me waiting for a non-existent boy was making the rounds at school and everyone was making fun of me, I didn't really care. Dwayne and I had secretly started dating, and the next few weeks were bliss. Dwayne and I were making out in his room one day, when suddenly, Maddie barged in looking down on her phone.
The parents are out and I'm having a party. Can you invite some of your hot friends? Wait, what is she doing here?
Angelina is my girlfriend, you idiot. Now get out.
He shut the door on her face and we heard a tiny crack. Do you think she broke her nose?
Doesn't matter. She's been getting a change at the plastic surgeons for years.
We laughed and started kissing again when we were rudely interrupted again a little later. But this time, it was his mom with Maddie grinning behind her.
Dwayne, seriously, you know all the richest girls in town and you choose this maid? I mean, if this is only for fun and not public, then fine, do whatever, but be careful. She's probably only after your money,
Mama.
Listen, lady, Dwayne asked me out. I didn't, and your money doesn't give you the right to treat anyone like garbage. If you want to be respected, you have to treat others with respect too. Just then, Mom came running, looking pale as a ghost.
What have you done? How can you talk to Madam like that? Apologize right now.
But I didn't. Needless to say, my mom was fired, and I was taken out of the school. When I was packing up my stuff, Maddie walked in and threw some old dresses of hers at me.
Here's a parting gift. They were going in the trash anyway, so same difference.
What happened to you, Maddie? Why did you turn into this awful person and just forgot that we were best friends?
Oh, please. I was only bird at home and you were hired to entertain me. And then you forgot your place. We were never best friends. We never could be.
Well, good luck finding true friends then, Maddie, because the ones you have right now are just here for your money, and I never cared about that. With that, I picked up my bags and left. Dwayne kept texting me, but I didn't have the heart to reply. It was better this way, probably. We were worlds apart. Soon after, Mom found a job as a waitress, but it wasn't enough to make ends meet. So I managed to get a job as a cashier at a local bookstore, and one evening, Dwayne walked in.
Angelina, I'm so sorry about everything my mother said. I really love you. Please give me another chance. I won't ever let her say anything mean to you again.
The next day, I walked into the mansion, and before his mom could say a word, I stopped her with my hand. I'm not your maid anymore. I'm an independent girl dating your grown-up son, and you can't do anything about it. We dated for the next few years, and I graduated high school. I started working at a local cafe, and the old lady who owned the place grew really fond of me. But one day, she suddenly passed away. I had barely registered the news when a man in a suit came into the cafe and asked for me.
The owner has left the business to a girl called Angelina. Where is she?
Oh my God, what? She had left the entire cafe to me. And with that, life changed forever for me and my mom. We both started working together and turned the place around. It became one of the most popular spots in town. One day, Maddie and her mom walked into the cafe, and a few minutes later, I heard Maddie screaming at a waitress.
Are you stupid? So what if it's not on the menu? Just go ask your chef to make me a salmon salad.
I walked over to their table, and their eyes almost popped out. Ladies, please leave the cafe immediately. We refuse service to ill-mannered customers.
Oh, and you! Another waitress is allowed to talk to me like that. Call the management, and I'll have you fired right now.
I am the management, and I will have you thrown out now. As my staff escorted them outside, the humiliation on their faces was epic for me. With all the money I made, I opened 3 new cafes in the next 2 years, and by the time Dwayne came back from university, there were 4 more. One day, as I was leaving work, I noticed a bunch of paparazzi outside. Suddenly, they parted, and Dwayne walked towards me with flowers and a ring.
Angelina, will you do me the honor of marrying me?
Yes, of course! All the journalists snapped pictures and cheered as we kissed.
How does it feel being engaged to the richest boy in town?
It's not a big deal. I'm rich too, you know. Dwayne and I flew away to a private beach to get married, amongst friends and mom, of course. Naturally, his family did not come. We have our own home and 3 cats, and we're all very happy.
Hi, I'm Ian from Canada. Please like and subscribe. I was born in a super rich family who owned a chain of restaurants. We pretty much had everything you could imagine except peace. My dad was a bad-tempered man who threw tantrums over the smallest things. Mom was soft-hearted and hardly ever spoke back. But my biggest problem was my bratty sister. Ariel was 2 years younger than me and 10 times worse than my dad. Once when I was 8, my parents took us to a wedding and I was playing with my cousins when I spotted Ariel being mean to a little boy whose family was poor. She snatched his lollipop and he started crying.
You can't eat that because you're ugly.
Ariel, give it back now.
No.
Just then, the boy's mom came and started shouting at Ariel, who went screaming to Dad and to him, and of course, he defended her.
How dare you yell at my daughter? She's saying the lollipop is hers and she would never steal from anyone.
But Dad, I was right here. I saw her.
Ian, this is your sister and you should be on her side, not this poor boy's.
Dad and Ariel were like 2 peas in a pod, and it was no wonder that he loved her more than me, and she always found a way to get me into trouble. Like in the 5th grade when Ariel joined my school, my parents asked me to look out for her on her first day, and I did exactly believe that. But as we were waiting for our car to pick us up, I suddenly turned around and saw she was gone. I looked for her everywhere in the school, but I couldn't find her. Feeling panicked, I had a school teacher call my parents, and soon after they arrived, Ariel came running from somewhere and flew into my dad's arms.
Mommy, Daddy, Ian Lucky in the storeroom. I was so scared.
I was stunned at how wicked she was. What? No, I didn't. Stop lying, Ariel. She cried even louder and Dad started yelling at me, but thankfully Mom took my side.
Calm down, Steve. Maybe he's telling the truth.
Ariel is only 7 years old. I don't think she knows how to lie yet. It's him.
I was grounded for a whole month because of the stunt of my sister pulled. She grew up to be the same wicked witch, and I became quiet and withdrawn from my family. I focused on doing well at school, and since I loved computers, I spent a lot of time teaching myself about them. I always thought it was a nerd, so I was surprised when I started getting attention from girls in the 10th grade. Even Ariel's friends were always staring at me and giggling, which was kinda creepy. One evening when I was studying for a big test, Ariel had some friends over, and they were playing music so loudly that I could hardly focus. I decided to go for a run, but just as I was changing my shirt, a girl flung open the door and stood staring at me.
Oops, I thought this was the bathroom.
You've been to our house before, and wouldn't you still knock?
You're so funny.
She giggled for no reason, and then Ariel came up behind her grinning.
Where are you off to?
Running away because you girls are so noisy.
We'll be quiet only if you agree to date my friend here.
What? Not doing that? I'm sure she's just like you. I ran away from there as fast as I could, but when I returned, I found Ariel crying in my room. Such a drama queen. Why can't you cry in your own room?
My best friend has been so depressed since her parents got divorced, and she's always crying and sniffling, and it's so annoying. Her puffy eyes are so ugly they can't be seen with her. So please date her and cheer her up just once.
I reluctantly agreed, they both leave me alone after that. So the next day after school, I said I'd meet her friend at a nearby milkshake shop, and when I got there, Ariel was also with her. Weirdest date ever. We ordered her drinks, and then this girl who was in my history class called Elsa came with our milkshakes. Ariel took one sip of her drink and spat it out.
Ooh, I said bubblegum milkshake, not strawberry. Must be extra stupid for getting it wrong.
And then she threw the glass on the floor and told Elsa to clean it up. Have you lost your mind? You can't treat people like this.
Dad is so right about you. Being a softie will get you nowhere, brother. And you stupid girl, don't just stand there. Get me a new milkshake.
You're pathetic. I ran after Elsa to check if she was okay, and I found her crying in the back alley. I'm so sorry about my sister. She's a real piece of work.
Yeah, it's not the first time she's done this.
but you shouldn't allow her to bully you like this.
I have no choice. My boss says customers come first and I can't afford to lose this job. It pays my school fees.
I didn't know much about Elsa because she always hid her face behind her long hair and never spoke in class. And because of what my sister did, I offered to buy her lunch at school. When I sat with her in the cafeteria the next day, the entire school had their eyes on us because this was the first time I was seen with some girl. While we talked, she kept looking down. I lifted her chin up gently and pushed her hair behind her ears. I was amazed at how beautiful she was. Wow, you're lovely. You shouldn't hide your face like that.
Thank you. You're the first person here who's been this nice to me, but I think people are looking at you wondering why some rich and handsome guy like you is sitting with a waitress.
I couldn't care less about what they're thinking, but they're probably all looking at you. I started hanging out with her every day and found myself falling for her fast. I like how Elsa was gentle and soft-spoken, but she also had a fun, quirky side that was adorable. But one evening when I got home, Dad was waiting for me in the living room, with Ariel by his side.
Your sister tells me you're dating some poor girl. Is this true?
Ariel is crazy. How do you judge a person without even knowing where they're from?
Because she's a waitress, stupid.
You're stupid because you keep poking your nose in my business. Just then, Mom walked in after some errands, and Dad told her to make him tea. Mom just walked into the house, and you're already giving her orders.
It's okay, Ian. I don't mind.
No, Mom, it's not okay. These two are always bullying us around, and now they're telling me who I can and can't date.
That's because this girl he likes is a gold digger.
I'm not letting you embarrass us by being with some beggar. What will people think?
That sounds like your problem because I don't care. And guess what? She's coming over for dinner this weekend and you will be nice to her. If you don't agree, Dad, I will drop out of school and move out, and you can find another son to help you with the business. Dad knew that I was smarter than his precious daughter, and he needed me to take over his business one day, so he had no choice but to give in. The next day, when I invited Elsa over, she looked gorgeous and really nervous.
I'm so scared to meet your parents.
Don't worry. We'll be just fine and he'll love you. Mom did seem to, but Dad and Ariel glared at her.
So Ella, is it?
Elsa, sir.
What do your parents do?
I don't have parents. I live with my grandmother and I take care of her.
So basically you're poor.
Ariel, that's very rude.
I kicked my sister under the table and she cried out angrily and stormed out of the room. Sometime later, Elsa excused herself to go to the bathroom, and Mom told her it was upstairs. She was gone for a while, so I decided to check on her. And I stopped short when I found her in my parents' room opening Mom's jewelry box. Elsa, what are you doing here?
Ian, you startled me. And oh, this isn't what it looks like. I promise your sister came out of your parents' bedroom, shoved this diamond ring in my hand, and told me to leave. She ran off before I could say anything, so I just came here to put it back. I don't know what's going on.
Liar?
We turned around to see Ariel in the doorway.
She's lying. I never gave her the ring. Mom, Dad, we have a thief in the house.
Shut up, Ariel. But the two had already come up running, and Elsa looked scared out of her wits.
Check her bag. I'm telling you, she's a thief.
Ariel suddenly snatched Elsa's bag, and as it fell to the ground, a lot of Mom's jewelry fell out. I didn't know what to think.
Gets out of our house before we call the police.
Elsa ran out crying, and I was too shocked to even run after her. If she needed money so badly, she could have asked me for help. There had to be some reason she felt she had to steal. But I never saw her again. She just didn't come to school after that, and when I asked the school admin, they told me she transferred to another school. Ariel and her friend were over the moon.
My friend is still available if you want to date her.
No thank you, and you should focus on school. Your math teacher spoke to me today and told me you're failing badly.
Oh, I'm the most beautiful girl in this school, and I don't think I'm going to use math in my modeling career.
Ariel did fail high school, and for the first time, Dad was so disappointed in her she couldn't get a job anywhere, not even as a model. So she ended up working as a waitress in one of Dad's restaurants where I was the manager. I had so much fun bossing her around. Ariel, the customers are waiting.
Well, do something about it.
I'm the manager. Go see to the customers now.
Daddy, Ian's being mean to me?
He's just doing his job, so please do yours. I'm already doing you a favor because you're not a very good waitress.
Ariel looked ready to explode.
Oh, so Ian's your favorite child now, Dad. How about we tell him about the time you plotted with me to get rid of his girlfriend, Elsa?
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, Dad asked me to slip Mom's jewelry into Elsa's bag. Duh. And he also found out where she lived and gave her grandmother money to take Elsa to another school.
I couldn't believe my ears. I looked at Dad for answers, but he didn't show an ounce of guilt.
Yeah, so I only did it for you. Ian, there are plenty of girls out there, and I didn't want you to be trapped by a poor one.
I quit my job that very moment, and before I moved out of the house, Mom gave me a check for a huge amount of money.
Ian, I've been saving up money secretly for years and I want you to have this. Use it wisely, son.
Mom, thank you so much and you're coming with me.
Sweetheart, I have more money saved and now that you kids are old enough, I'm leaving your father and moving to Bali. It's time I lived my life.
I'm so happy for you, Mom. I used the money to start my own IT company, which became very successful over the years. The only thing missing in my life was love. Then one day at the grocery store, I was standing in line at the counter when I spotted a black-haired girl ahead of me. It was Elsa. Cashier was telling her that her card wasn't working, and she looked really bothered. How much is it? I'll pay. Elsa turned around and stared at me in shock, and then she looked mad.
No need, I'll come and buy these things later.
She left her grocery cart and walked off quickly, and I followed. Elsa, please wait.
Go away, Ian. I don't need your help. I'm not poor now, by the way. Something just went wrong with my card. I know what my family did.
I know, and I'm so sorry. Look, you don't have to forgive me or have anything to do with me. I'd just like to help you out right now. Let me pay, please. She calmed down a bit and we went back inside to clear her bill. Then she briefly thanked me and left, but I just couldn't stop thinking about her for days. A week later, I was watching TV at home when I heard the doorbell, and I was shocked to find Elsa standing there. Elsa, you're the last person I was expecting.
I felt I owed you dinner as a thank you for the other day, and I just wanted to say that I forgive you. Everyone deserves a second chance, right? So here, I'm giving you one.
Her smile made my heart skip a beat, and I gently pushed her hair away from her face. You're still the most beautiful girl I've ever met.
Hi, I'm Alina from Hawaii. Please like and subscribe. I live with my mom, right on the ocean shore, but Dad left before I was born. According to Mom, that's because she was under a love spell that ran in our family. She could only fall in love with people who didn't love her back. And apparently, I was under the same spell too. Mom told me the only way I could avoid the curse was by staying away from all boys. So, whenever we left the house, I'd march around with a toy water gun and sprayed it at any guy that came my way. Girls roll, boys are dumb. Any boy who comes close is going to get sprayed. I also went to an all-girls school and even wore a custom I Hate Boys t-shirt. Then one day, everything changed. I was swimming in the ocean when the cutest guy ever glided over to me and stared into my eyes. Oh crud! I swam away as fast as I could and tumbled on the shore.
Has anyone told you you swim like a fish with cramps?
I do not. Also, any guy that tries to talk to me gets a face full of sand.
How about you help me eat some pineapple cake instead? If you don't like it, you can go back to being mad.
Pineapple cake was my weakness, so I agreed to sit with the guy for a picnic. I found out his name was Sage, and we got to know each other a bit. I told him all about my crazy life, my family's love curse, and how I wasn't supposed to talk to boys.
A love curse? Your mom sounds like a nutcase.
My mom isn't a nutcase. I don't know. She says it's been my family for generations. I felt guilty for betraying Mom, but I was having fun with Sage, and he didn't seem like a bad guy. So after that day, we secretly became friends. We either met at the beach, or we'd go over to each other's houses when no one was home. Then, 1 year later, Sage and I were sitting on my roof talking when I heard Mom get home. But when I went down to see her, I suddenly heard Sage yell.
I could use a hand here.
Who are you?
Sage, you idiot!
So you know this boy?
Before I could answer, Sage fell from our roof and landed in our hammock.
Lucky fall. Yeah, Alina and I are friends, but we never told you about it because of your wacko family curse. No offense, ma'am.
Please stop talking. Mom, it's not like that. Sage is a really cool guy. But Mom's face was red with anger, and she sent Sage home immediately. I was sure the whole thing would blow over. But a couple of days later, I saw that Sage had changed his number and deleted all of his social media accounts. And when I went to his house, I saw his family had moved out. Tears stung my eyes. I just knew Mom had sent him away, and when I confronted her, she got mad.
I did no such thing, but you shouldn't even be thinking about that boy. You disobeyed me and betrayed my trust.
You sent my best friend away because you're a lunatic who believes in some family legend. Sage was right. You are nuts, and I'm not following your rules anymore. And I stuck to my word. I forced Mom to send me to a co-ed school, and our relationship went downhill from there. I did everything I could to go against Mom's rules. I dated every boy I could get and made sure to rub it in Mom's face. Oh, Tommy, your lips are so soft. Grab a net and catch me. I must be dreaming. I knew I was making her crazy, but I just couldn't forgive her for sending Sage away. One night, I was at a high school party with my newest boyfriend, Connor, and we were dancing the night away. Then suddenly, a girl pointed to the door.
Oh my god, it's the new guy from school who invited him. He's a criminal.
At that second, I saw someone with a wound on their face, and my heart dropped when I realized it was Sage. I hadn't seen him in over a year. What had happened to him?
Whoa, babe, are you okay? Do you know that guy?
Good to see you again, stranger.
Sage, what is going on? This isn't who you are.
You don't know who I am anymore, Alina. Good luck dating this weirdo, bro. Did you know she's under some love spell?
Sage walked away, and I was totally speechless. What a jerk. Later that night, I got more scoop on him from some kids.
Sage went to juvie once because he smashed a lady's car with a bat.
And one time, Sage stole a little girl's kitten and ran away with it.
There had to be some kind of mistake. That entire week, Sage ignored me at school, even though he stared at me 24/7, especially when I was with my boyfriend. One time, Connor bought me a hazelnut latte, and I was about to kiss him on the cheek to thank him, but then stupid Sage walked by, and I was so distracted I ended up spilling coffee all over myself. Good God, he was freaking everywhere, like a really handsome mafia guy from a horror movie. One afternoon, I was studying in the library when I saw Sage reading a book there, and suddenly he smiled at me mischievously.
So you really are dating boys now? I'm sorry I said that mean stuff about you the other day. I was feeling protective of you and want to scare Connor away.
Oh, are you also sorry for ghosting me for a year?
Look, my life is more complicated now than it used to be, but things at school are normal, so maybe we can try to be friends again. What do you say?
Sage squeezed my hand, and I felt butterflies. Then suddenly, a hand pulled us apart, and it was Connor's. He insisted on sitting with us since he didn't trust me sitting with a so-called criminal. But Sage just left soon after Connor came, which made my heart sink. Later, Connor ended up walking me out and pulled me close under some lovely trees.
I know you and that Sage guy used to be close, but it's obvious he's changed. The good thing is, I have you all to myself now. No guy will come in between us.
Connor kissed me, and that's when I realized I didn't feel any sparks or anything between us. Then what was wrong with me? I am so confused right now. You're perfect. I'm awkward, and I don't think I can date you. Something's stopping me, but I have no idea what it is yet. Pull it together, Alina. I got to go. I ran off feeling really guilty about dumping Connor. He was as sweet and perfect as a guy could be. He was furious with me that whole week and started telling everyone what a witch I was. I guess I really hurt him. One afternoon, I walked to the bleachers for some peace and quiet when I saw Sage sitting there alone. Oh great, you're here. Don't worry, I'm leaving.
Alina, can you keep a secret? There's something I've been wanting to tell you since I came here.
Sage, you can tell me anything.
Okay, then I'm not a criminal. All those stories about me are lies. The real criminal is my dad. He got me involved one time in a robbery and I got caught. That's why I had to leave town, change my number, and delete my accounts and stuff. I'm so sorry I didn't tell you. The whole town is now filled with lies about me.
So you stealing the kitten was a lie?
Of course, I helped a kitten down from a freaking tree, but it was hard having everyone hate me. I got depressed and started doing dumb things. Don't worry, I'm going to quit.
It felt so good to have my friend back, except for some reason, he didn't feel like just a friend anymore. Without thinking, I pulled Sage close and kissed him. Oh man, I think I like you.
And I know I like you.
And from that day on, Sage and I were an item. He was still the dork I knew from before, but he was all grown up, and God, I was falling harder for him by the day. But there was one person who was really upset about it, Mom. And one night, when I was in 12th grade, she totally lost it.
Do you not remember how Sage shut you out for a year and broke your heart? You're going down a dark, dark path.
And you're still seriously crazy. I've been dating for a while now, and nothing bad has happened because I know how to take care of myself. I don't blame stuff on magic spell nonsense.
This is different. You love Sage, and I can't have you getting hurt. So if you decide to stay with this person after high school, I'm out of the picture. I won't come to your wedding. I won't support it. It's just too much for me.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Mom and I had never had a good relationship, but now I just had it with her. So after I graduated, I moved in with Sage, and we were happy together, even though I still wasn't speaking to Mom. Then one day, I was at the mall when I saw a gorgeous aquamarine engagement ring. I felt butterflies and pictured Sage proposing to me with it. I snapped a picture of it and sent it to him. I sure hoped he could take a hint. But when I arrived home, Sage was sitting on the couch with all the lights off. Hey babe, what's going on?
My dad got arrested again for 2 months.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Sage, but I have something that may cheer you up. It's about a text I sent you about an engagement ring.
Alina, we can't get engaged. What if I end up just like my dad? I can't do this to you. I love you too much. I'm going to stay at my cousin's place for a while to think things over. I'm sorry.
Before I could blink an eye, Sage left, and I was shaking with shock. Did he just break up with me? That's when I burst into tears and drove over to Mom's house. For the first time in years, she held me and tried to calm me down. I'm so sorry about everything. You were right. The curse is real, and I'm such an idiot for not believing you. I wish Sage and I had never even met.
Oh, darling, don't say that. Listen, I'm very happy you came by. I want to apologize for everything. While you were away, I started dating someone who treated me like royalty. And I realized something. The curse was never real. It was all in our heads.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But Sage left Mom just like Dad left you.
That's just how love is, honey. It's hard, but it can also be the most wonderful thing in the world.
I stayed with Mom for a few months after that to think things through. Sage flooded my phone with apology texts and calls, but I needed space from him. Then one day, I went to the doctor and she told me some news. I was pregnant, except there was one problem. I didn't trust my boyfriend one bit to raise a kid with me.
How many times do I have to tell you I'm sorry and that I won't leave you again? I was just upset about my dad, and I got scared for a second.
Well, how do I know you're not going to get scared for a second time and leave again? I don't need you to help me raise this baby, so just leave, okay? But the truth was, I missed Sage more than anything, and 9 months later, in the delivery room, I was still missing him. Then suddenly, Mom walked in with the nurses who were carrying my beautiful baby Michaela, and behind them was Sage. Oh my God, what are you doing here? I thought I told you to stay away.
Alina, listen to me. My dad's out of the picture. I reported him and got him arrested after he confessed to more crimes. I don't want someone dangerous like that in my life anymore. I love you and I want to raise our daughter together. I won't let anything or anyone get in the way of that.
So, is that your way of saying you want to meet Michaela?
Let me see that gorgeous face.
Don't let your broken heart stay broken forever, because life is all about loving and letting yourself be loved. Interrogating informants was one of my duties, and today was no different. Mr. Kent, have you or have you not been selling secret information to the enemy? If you don't talk, I'm going to have to use reinforcements and...
You have to look more scary, Rosie, and keep that Kaiser away from me.
Okay, shut up and put the gag back on so we can. Just then, my phone rang. Mom, you sound scared. What's going on?
Listen to me carefully. Your dad and I have gotten into some kind of trouble. Dad got badly injured and is in the hospital, but you can't see him now. It's dangerous.
Mom.
I think someone's tailing at me, and...
Wait, Mom? Mom? I think Mom's in trouble. Hi, I'm Rose from LA. I'll tell you what's going on. But first, please like and subscribe. My twin brother Enzo and I were raised by parents who are the most interesting people I know. They are undercover agents who work for the wait that's supposed to be top secret. Anyway, Mom and Dad didn't trust anyone to look after us, so a lot of times we found ourselves hidden under the table or behind a curtain during their top secret meetings. But I broke the rules and popped out from time to time.
Believe now, Mario. I think we're done here.
Not before he gets us double chocolate muffins.
I want vanilla.
Rosie, I thought I told you guys to stay hidden.
It's muffin top when we're on the job, Mama.
You can go, Mario.
And bring us a report tonight.
By the time we turned 10, it became more and more difficult for them to take us with them, and they made it clear that it was for our safety.
This job is dangerous and you need to stay home from now on.
But Dad, I've gotten really good. I can help trace people and find information.
I'm okay with staying home.
See, your brother gets it.
Oh, he's just scaredy cat.
If you promise to lay low for now and learn everything that you need to, we'll let you come with us on one of our major cases.
By the time I was in my final year of high school, I had acquired quite a number of investigative skills from observing my parents. Enzo and I had become attached to this guy who could hack into any system, but living like a decent human being is where he drew the line. You know, in those movies where the tech geek never cleans his room, never showers? That was my brother. You reek, you pea-brained Jerkosaurus Rex or something called a shower.
Hey, I don't get paid to take showers or smell nice.
You don't get paid to do anything. The least you could do is shower, or no one will ever hire you.
I don't need anyone to hire me. I'll work for Mom and Dad.
To the shower now.
Mom and Dad will hear about this.
If you can go near them without killing them first. When we weren't fighting, I was using him to test out my interrogation techniques. We made a pretty great team where he was the tech genius and I was the muscle, and I always knew that we would crack a case together one day. But that day came sooner than I thought when Mom made that dreadful phone call.
Well, what did she say?
I think she's been kidnapped and Dad's badly injured in the hospital.
Which hospital?
She didn't say, did you do your hacking thingy and see if you can locate them? As soon as Enzo started working on his laptop, the doorbell rang, starting with us both.
It's the middle of the night. Who could it be? I'll check that.
Before he could even check the security cameras, I grabbed my weaponized frying pan and headed to the door. Whoever it was, you have chosen the wrong house. But there wasn't anyone at the door.
Rosie?
Did you?
There was a hooded figure in the frame, but he disappeared before I could zoom in on his face. It's like he knew where the camera was and hid his face. Also, I found Dad, but still nothing on Mom.
What?
It's almost like she disappeared from the face of the earth.
This wasn't good. But at least we'd found Dad. So I rushed to the hospital while Enzo worked on finding something, anything, that could lead us to Mom. At the hospital, Dad didn't look too bad, but something he said made me worry.
Look, improvise. No, I know Mom before, or before it's too late.
But Dad, where? Where do I start?
The door.
What? I turned to look at the door. Someone's face suddenly disappeared. By the time I got to the hallway, whoever it was, it disappeared. Someone was definitely following me, and I intended to catch them before they caught me. That night, Enzo and I stayed awake, trying to trace Mom, going through every case and every file we could find in their office, and sat through every security footage of the house, but couldn't find anything. What would Mom and Dad do? The answer came very clearly the following morning, when Enzo startled me awake from where I dozed off in a chair.
The person with the hood is back.
A figure in a hoodie rushed through our lawn to the front door. Right on cue, the doorbell rang, and we watched as he hid behind one of the bushes and watched the door. I think we just found our first clue. Stay here.
He looks very weak. Go get him, Tiger.
I had to catch this guy by surprise, so I grabbed a stick, ran out through the back door. Within seconds, I was standing behind him. Hey! As soon as he turned, I swung the stick up and hit him square in the face, sending him sprawling to the ground, and he passed out immediately. I put a bag over his head and dragged him into the barn, then tied him to a chair and waited for him to wake up, which he did a few minutes later.
Oh, hey, the name's Maxwell. How you doing, princess?
Seriously, man, read the room.
Whoa, hold your horses. You already broke my nose. Don't hit me again. What's in that freaking sock anyway?
I ask the questions. Who else knows about me? Who sent you to stalk me?
I'm not stalking. I just happened to be here when you found me. Wait, or are you stalking me? I mean, since it was you that came up from behind me.
You think you're smart, huh?
I've been told that I'm pretty impressive. How about you loosen these up, then we can talk, princess?
That arrogant. But now that his head wasn't in a sack, I couldn't help but notice how absolutely dreamy. And when he smirked, then flipped his hair to the side, my legs went jelly, and the butterflies in my stomach blushed. Wait a minute, Rose. Wake up. Your parents would be ashamed of you right now. Does he think he was in a commercial or something? What a loony.
Did you say something?
I'll get you a glass of water. You look thirsty. If there was something I learned from my parents, it's that if you let an informant go, they'll lead you right to your target. So leaving him loosely tied and the bond door slightly open, I left to get him water. And just like I'd expected, it took him less than 1 minute to loosen himself and leave the barn.
Rosie, he's getting away.
And let the games begin. Come on, let's go.
What? Where? Why do I have to go?
Because he could be leading us to Mom. We followed the guy from a discreet distance for about 10 minutes to a creepy old blue house. After looking around suspiciously, as if to see if he was being followed, he went in.
I don't know about this. I think we should go back.
Remember what Dad used to tell us?
You have to follow every clue to the end. Doesn't matter how small or big it is, it'll lead you to something.
We have to see this through.
Oh, okay. I'm only coming because it's creepier out here alone.
With Enzo behind me, shaking like a twig, I stormed into the house. A woman in a black suit, her bright red hair tied back in a ponytail, wearing a mask, and stood over someone bound to a chair in the middle of the room. I couldn't see who it was because her head was in a bag, but I'd recognize those white sneakers anywhere. I'd bought Mom those shoes on her birthday last year. Mom, I finally found you! Tightening my grip on the weaponized frying pan, I ran towards the kidnapper. Step away from my mother, or you lose your teeth. But the moment the woman turned around and pulled off her mask, she took me by surprise. Mom, what's going on here? Then whose?
First, give me this dreadfully ugly pan before you hurt someone. Secondly, welcome. We've been waiting for you, detectives.
Wait, I'm so confused right now. I thought you were kidnapped. Or are you the kidnapper?
And why is the kidnapped wearing your shoes? Suddenly, old, creaky house lit up. Dad came out carrying 2 birthday cakes, accompanied by the guy from before.
Happy birthday?
Birthday?
Dad, I thought you were in the hospital.
Sorry, I was acting on orders.
Our birthday isn't until 2 weeks from now.
All right, someone explain what's going on here. And could you please remove the bag off of this poor lady? But when Maxwell pulled the bag off, it revealed a faceless mannequin. Enzo fainted at the sight of it. This poor boy! Look what you did to him! He's going to have nightmares for months!
All right. I think we should tell them what's going on after we give Enzo first aid. Honey, are you sure he's our son?
Don't be mean.
When Enzo finally woke up, Mom and Dad explained how they came up with this brilliant idea to give us for our birthday adventure.
Maxwell is a secret undercover agent in training from a secret intelligence school. He was your clue and you followed it well.
Also, it was very clever how you used him as a lead. You get points for that, and your hacking skills are getting better, sweetie. Sorry I blocked you, though.
I wonder I couldn't trace you. You have to teach me that.
You can't outsmart the master.
You guys are pretty cool, and how did you come up with these weapons anyway?
You're lucky I didn't break your teeth, you know?
I don't doubt it.
Get a room.
And since you're graduating in a couple of months, you can join Maxwell in the secret intelligence school.
Best birthday ever!
Hi, I'm Mariana from Brazil. Before I tell you my story, please like and subscribe. My parents were incredibly wealthy. Just kidding. We lived in the poorest neighborhood in town. Mom stayed at home and Dad mowed lawns. We barely had any money. Maybe I should have subscribed to this channel and tried to win $1,000. Hey, you should give it a shot. Fingers crossed. But anyways, being poor didn't stop my parents from spoiling my younger brother, Raphael, rotten. You see, Raphael was a genius. By the time he was 8 months old, he could recite his alphabet and count to 100. By the time he was 2, he was doing math equations and solving puzzles. Our baby is a genius.
He's going to make us so proud!
And what am I, chopped liver? On my 5th birthday, instead of the princess house with the car and pool I wanted, Mom stitched me a doll from old clothes. We just don't have the money, sweetie. But Raphael received a brand new cat robot.
Sweetie, we had to get Raphael something as well.
That wasn't even the worst part. Raphael was permitted to attend school, but I wasn't. My parents claimed it was because Raphael had a unique talent. Therefore, they spent all their money to send him to a private school for gifted children. And they couldn't even afford to buy books for me to go to public school. Life felt so unfair. I felt utterly invisible. The only time my parents saw me was when they wanted me to do some chore around the house. Over time, I just got used to it. And since I couldn't read books to myself, or I didn't have a phone to watch videos, I started sewing to pass the time.
Mariana, what have you done to my curtains?
I fell in love with creating new things from old items. I wanted to become a fashion designer because of the way my parents treated Raphael and me differently. We never grew close, and he always saw me as his slave, even though I was older than him.
Clip my toenails. Clean my shoes.
When I was 11, I pleaded with my parents to send me to a sewing school. Mom, Dad, I deserve to be able to follow my dreams too.
Haha. They can't afford to send you to some pointless sewing school when they're saving up to send me to the most prestigious college in the country.
I'm sorry, Mariana, but we have to support the child who has greater potential and will make the family proud.
With that, Mom and Dad just walked away while Raphael stood there with a smug grin on his face. Oh, I wanted to slap him so hard. It was at that moment I decided I would do whatever it took to get myself into a sewing school. I tried to find a job, but no one wanted to hire an 11-year-old, not even as a clown for birthday parties. When I turned 13, things seemed to improve, and I finally secured a babysitting job. But when my parents found out that I'd been neglecting household chores because of it, they were furious. I was grounded for 2 months, and Dad tore up all my designs that I had stuck on my bedroom walls over the years. I was devastated, but a tiny part of me refused to give up. I knew I had to be smarter this time. When I drew, I hid my drawings under the floorboards of my bed, and when Mom sent me to the supermarket, I'd pass by the wishing fountain and collect all the coins. Don't give me that judgmental look. But after 3 years of saving those coins, it still wasn't enough. Fortunately, my life took an amazing turn when I turned 16, setting things in motion for me. One day, while I was drawing in my room, I was so focused that I didn't notice a girl peeking in at me through the window.
Wow, that looks amazing!
I tumbled out of my chair and hit the floor. The girl then did a backflip through my bedroom window and landed inside. Had the circus come to town? What do you want? Did my parents send you to spy on me?
No, silly. I'm the new neighbor.
Of course, I didn't even let her finish. I just picked her up, tossed her out the window, and closed the curtains. As much as I wanted a friend, I didn't want anyone to know that I couldn't read or write. What would she think of me? But that didn't deter the crazy backflip. Over the next few days, she did everything possible to get my attention, even juggling 3 cats while balancing a mug of water on her head. What a weirdo. One day I decided to take a shortcut home because I had seen a lady with the most amazing outfit and I wanted to get home and sketch it. Just then I heard a man yell behind me.
Watch out!
As I turned, I saw a huge crane ball coming my way. I was in place, but luckily for me, someone pushed me to the ground just in time.
Girl, are you crazy? This is a danger zone. Can't you read?
Oh God, I was sweating like a bald man in spring.
Can you read?
I sighed heavily and shook my head.
That's okay. I can't draw amazing fashion designs like you can. Let's go and grab some ice cream. My treat.
While eating the ice cream, crazy backflip girl, Julia told me that she had moved next door with her parents and older brother Harrison. Also that Harrison was a rotten egg and always got himself into trouble. She also told me that her father lost his job after his boss accused him of stealing money from his office and then blacklisted him so no one else would hire him while her mother worked as a maid for some rich lady. I told her that my parents hated me and wouldn't even let me go to school while they treated Raphael like he was a prince.
What do they think this is, the 16th century? No girl left behind. Woman power.
Over the next few months, Julia taught me how to read and write. She was a great teacher, and I was a quick learner. Julia's mother even supplied me with her old drapes to practice my designs on. As much as I loved my bestie, there was a downside of being neighbors with Julia. Harrison and Raphael became best friends, and they'd go out of their way to make mine and Julia's life a living nightmare. So we stayed out of their way as much as possible. But then one evening, when I was coming home after getting groceries, I saw two guys push some guy to the ground and grab his keys. Hey, stop it! The guys looked around and I was shook. Raphael Harrison!
Let's get out of here!
They hopped into the car and sped off. Was Raphael crazy? That night, I cornered Raphael in his room. What the heck was that stunt you pulled today?
What I do is none of your business.
You're my younger brother. Of course it's my business.
If you tell Mom and Dad anything, I'll tell them that Julia has been tutoring you.
I couldn't afford to lose Julia's friendship, so I kept my mouth shut and kept a close eye on Raphael. I found out that he'd been failing his subjects in school, and he was missing classes to hang out with Harrison and his goons. I was so frustrated that I thought my head was going to explode.
Maybe you should start a podcast to ease some of your frustration.
Talk to strangers about my story? That'll be weird.
Sometimes strangers make the best listeners.
That night, Julia helped me set up an anonymous podcast using her phone. I went by the name Raven, and it felt so good to get so many things off my chest. But what felt even better was reading the comments, encouraging me to follow my dreams despite my parents' unfair treatment. They even encouraged me to open an online store and set up a GoFundMe to get started, and soon my clothes were being sold faster than I could make them. Yeah. I set up a secret workshop in Julia's basement where I worked at night. Over the next 2 years, it was a roller coaster. First, Harrison was arrested for pickpocketing and his father shipped him off to the Navy. When he left, Raphael got 100 times worse, and he was even kicked out of school. And he continued to hang out with the wrong crowd. And my parents always made excuses for him, but my life was super awesome. I saved up enough money to get into the most prestigious fashion school in the country. The only thing left to do was to send in my application, which required me to create any design of my choice.
You've got this, bestie. I'm rooting for you.
Over the next 2 months, I worked endlessly to create the most beautiful ball gown known to man. I needed to get into this school. I had something to prove to myself. A few nights before the submission of my dress, while at Julia's, I saw Raphael enter her bedroom. I snuck up to the door and peeked through the crack. I watched in shock as Raphael was stuffing his pockets with jewelry. Raphael! What on earth are you doing? Raphael gave me one look and jumped through the window like a frog. Julia and her parents had been too good to me to let Raphael get away with this. I ran home, but when I opened the door, the confrontation did an Uno reverse on me. Dad glared at me as he was holding a necklace in his hand.
Mariana, why was this in your dresser?
As if on cue, Raphael walked into the room to examine the necklace.
Wait, isn't that Julia's mother's?
You should know since you stole it.
Raphael told us that he saw you take this.
I didn't steal anything, it was Raphael.
I just don't understand where we went wrong with you.
Me? Raphael's the one who got kicked out of school. Genius, my butt.
We also found cash hidden under the floorboards. Where did you steal that from?
I froze. How did they? My eyes met Raphael's and an evil glint flashed over his eyes. That's my money. I earned it.
Stop lying, Mariana!
I think it's time to teach little Miss Fashionista a lesson that she will never forget. Raphael, bring the dress.
Dress? What dress? The words stuck in my throat when I saw Raphael return with my submission dress. I watched in horror as Mom lit the fireplace and took the dress from Raphael. Mom, please don't!
You will learn your place in this family, Mariana.
My mother threw my dress in the fireplace and it lit up quicker than a barbecue on Independence Day. I tried to get it out, but Dad and Raphael held me back as I kicked and screamed. After a while, my dress was nothing but ashes as an avalanche of tears ran down my face. I knew that my time in this family was up. I wanted to attack my parents and Raphael, but I decided to pack my bags and I went to Julia's. That night, after bawling my eyes out, I did a live podcast and revealed to my listeners what I had just endured under the hands of my parents. This time, I used their real names. Yep, I was done being the nice guy. By the next morning, my parents were chased out of the neighborhood, and the rich lady Julia's mom worked for pulled some strings and she got me another submission date.
Bestie, this dress is even better than the last one.
I have to admit, I really did outdo myself. About 2 weeks later, I received a letter in the mail. Beads of sweat ran down my forehead with trembling fingers. I opened the letter and my jaw dropped.
What does it say?
I got accepted into the fashion school. Yes! I felt as though I were on cloud 9. Over the next 4 years, while I was away at school, Julia went to a community college. I worked hard and came out at the top of my class. I earned a junior position in a fashion company. I even convinced Julia's dad to apply as a manager there, and he got the job. It wasn't long after they were able to move into a nice place. I was finally living my dream. One night after one of the company's shows, I spotted my parents in the hallway waiting for me. What are you guys doing here?
I see you're a fashion designer. I'm so proud of you.
I'm so proud of you. Words I always wanted to hear my parents say, but I knew they weren't sincere. Why are you here? Dad shifted uncomfortably.
Raphael's in trouble. He and some of his friends got caught breaking into a bank, and we need money to bail him out.
And after everything you and Mom did to me, you think that I would help you?
Sweetheart, we're family, and that's what families do. They help each other out.
But where was my family growing up? Where were you when I needed you?
Are you going to help or not?
Not. Had you done your job as parents and parented Raphael instead of letting him wrap you around his finger, he wouldn't be in a jail cell now. As I looked across the room, I saw Julia and her parents waiting for me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to join my real family. I pushed past my parents and walked toward the people who helped me and never turned their backs on me. Family is not just about blood, but those who stood by you through thick and thin. Have I told you guys how amazing you are?
Not recently, no.
You guys are amazing.
So are you, bestie. I love you, and I'm so proud of you.
I love you too.
Hi, cuties! I'm Emma. Get ready to dive into the wild drama of my life, a real-life soap opera that even Shakespeare would have loved to write. But first, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Now we can start. You know those seemingly perfect families where the father is a cheerful, wealthy businessman and the mother is a loving housewife who does everything for her kids? Blonde, rosy-cheeked, perfect teeth children? Yeah, me neither. Ever since I can remember in my life, it was only me and my mom, Emily. My mom loved me, but when it came to my dad, she went to great lengths to erase any trace of him, and she did a darn good job. Mom, I was wondering about my dad. What, Dad? Here, have a bag of candies. It was always like that with Mom. Have a bag of that. Or keep this stock of chocolates. Or look, that marshmallow looks like Grandma Teresa. So instead of finding out anything about him, I just put on a lot of weight. Eventually, I stopped asking. Even my mom sensed that something was wrong with me. While the neighborhood kids played outside, I spent all my time cooped up in my room, reading books by myself. At some point, she must have thought that I needed a father figure, which was true, and decided to get one for me. Unfortunately, her dating life was so disastrous that it probably made Cupid consider early retirement for real. It was the same thing over and over again. It went like this. Emma, please let me introduce you to insert name my new boyfriend. We love each other so much. Of course. 2 weeks later, there we were, indulging in a second bowl of ice cream and watching Titanic with her sobbing uncontrollably on my shoulder. Jack, take me with you. We were supposed to stay together forever. Mom, you met him like a month ago. The best month of my life. But honestly, my mom had a PhD in ruining her relationships. All her boyfriends had shorter lifespans than a goldfish's memory. She would get bored of them and then find a way to sabotage the relationship. Magically, it was always their fault. Antonio, the chef, seemed like the perfect candidate. After all, who wouldn't want a dad who could cook 5-star meals? But then, can you believe it? He abandoned me all night to dine at a restaurant alone, preferring puff pastry over spending time with me. Mom, he works there. Then there was Markin, I thought a cop would keep us safe, right? But I was expecting a rose or a diamond. Instead, he gifted me a police scanner. And then there was Philip. I always dreamt of a dad who could always make us laugh. But he couldn't stay serious for 10 minutes straight. Well, today he's the world's most famous comedian. I was already giving up on the idea of having a stepfather when my mom came home one day with a new surprise. This time, though, I felt something was different, and I was right. Here, love, this is Ben. Benjamin, this is my daughter, Emma.
What a lovely fairy I see. Am I welcome into your manor, my fair maiden?
That man was not like the others. Ben looked older, with such a fine white beard and mustache, and those small round spectacles that made him look like some woodsman from old stories. In my mind, a dad had always been similar to him in appearance. Surprisingly, Ben actually became a father to me, and he really knew how to show me his love. Like that time when I got an A in mathematics, and Ben recited a poem he had written for me.
Here is the smartest of my muses, the shiniest of my lights. A new Pythagoras in disguise.
Nobody had ever appreciated me so much. Or that time, December 16th, when I came back home after a full day at school, only to find the hall full of bearded guys and Ben, in the middle of them, shouting toward me. Surprise.
Happy birthday to our fairy.
Those were Ben's friends from the War Games Club. I didn't expect any birthday celebration, because Mom had always forgotten it herself. But now she was there too, right in the middle of them. Could Ben have changed her so much? Ben, I have no words.
It's only my duty to make you smile, my fair maiden.
I hugged him the strongest I could and started crying like a baby. Sir Benjamin, I love you. I had finally found a father after 10 years of my life, and we were like a real happy family. It felt like a dream, and like in every dream, at a certain point, I had to wake up. A few years later, Mom started receiving strange phone calls in the middle of the night. She would pick up quietly like a thief and go to the bathroom to speak as any guilty teenager would. Once I caught her coming out of the bathroom with a suspicious smile on her face. Who was it? Oh, just some friend. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. I make a living out of worrying. I knew something was wrong. The calls suddenly stopped, but the signs were still there. Why would Mom be sending herself those goofy bouquet cards decorated with plastic roses? Can't I buy nice things for myself? Not to mention the gold-sprayed aluminum bracelet I found she was wearing out of the blue after a life of hating bracelets and necklaces. It's just part of my midlife crisis. Or the giant heart-shaped balloon we suddenly had in the main hall, glittery as a disco ball and red as love, or hell. Wrong address. Or maybe the wind brought it here. Yeah, like I'm that dumb. Then one morning, I was sick at home, searching in my mom's bedroom for her laptop, ready to consume my eyes in yet another Harry Potter marathon. Where is it? Axio laptop. What is this? There was a letter on my mom's nightstand. Strange. I haven't seen the postman in a while.
My love, I'm like a lost sock just looking for its match.
Ew, so cheesy. When Mom got back home that night, I confronted her. How could you do this, Mom? Emma, I can explain. Ben is the only dad I have ever had, and you're betraying him. If you would only let me talk. Please. I don't want to listen to you anymore, Mom. I'm tired of you and your... Editor won't let me say the next word. But you can imagine what I mean. I wasn't gonna let her ruin our relationship with Ben. I had to act fast. So the next day, I went to confront that homewrecker, getting his address from the letter. I rang the doorbell nonstop. Open up!
What the?
The man was about to blow up. But when he saw me, surprise filled his eyes.
Please come in.
That mysterious man looked like a retired rock star, or an extra from Pirates of the Caribbean. He invited me inside his great villa, which was full of instruments. Look, whoever you are, my mom's with someone else. Just leave us alone. Don't mess up our lives. I've barely found my dad, and you.
What if I told you I'm your real dad?
His words hit me like a mute button.
I was eager to meet you again, but your mom thought you weren't ready.
Of course, he could have been lying, but somehow I knew he wasn't. My father disappeared when I was a child.
Emma, I'm really sorry things got messed up between your mom and me back then, but I'm here now, and I want to be part of your life.
I was left completely speechless. My mom soon joined us. Mom looked truly happy after all those years. She told me she hadn't connected with anyone else because she wasn't over Dad and only wished for him to stay with us. Of course, I was thrilled about having my real dad with me again. But then a sudden doubt fell upon me like a spaceship out of fuel. But Ben! He already knows everything, and he still wants to be a part of your life. We can be a big family. So just like that, I went from having no dad to having two. You would think it's like winning the lottery twice, but not quite. I felt overwhelmed and with a great weight on me. Before, I didn't have to worry about disappointing anyone. But now I had two dads who had high expectations of me, and let's say they weren't too fond of each other.
Chris, lower the volume. Emma's studying.
Oh, just jamming out, man. Rockstar practice, you know.
Oh, wow. But I thought rock and roll had been dead for a long time.
Good music never dies. Besides, aren't you obsessed with knights and things from hundreds of years ago?
Oh, absolutely. But unlike your music, knights never go out of style.
Come on, guys. If you really think about it, rock stars and knights have a lot in common, like both loved leather and dying young. But while some wore armor and swords, the others used guitars and a lot of hairspray. That made a lot more sense in my head. Soon things went even further south. One day, they forgot to pick me up, and I had to walk home in the middle of a storm. When Ben saw me, he went mental.
Chris, you were supposed to pick her up. I asked you to do one thing as I had an urgent appointment.
Oops, I totally lost track of time making these cookies to surprise her. Come try one, honey.
As I reached for a cookie, Ben sprang into action like a movie hero, dove over the couch in slow motion, snagged it from my hand, and sent the whole tray flying.
These have peanuts. Emma's your own daughter and you don't even know she's allergic to peanuts? Or you just don't care?
I don't even want to remember the fight that followed. Can you imagine two gunslingers in front of each other, ready to open fire at the slightest movement? Well, it was kind of like that. The constant fighting became a part of my life. I realized that this was affecting them as well. Ben looked more deteriorated and tired than ever, and my dad seemed constantly anxious, as if he was hiding a big secret. On my first Christmas with my new family, they dove into a full gift duel. The prize of it wasn't a juicy bounty, but my love.
Dear, I got you Ozzy, your new puppy.
Are you serious? I got her Lady Godiva, the most majestic kitten in town.
Oh, thank you guys. I love them both so much. Of course, getting double presents was quite fun. But soon, my new pets were casualties of the parents' war. Lady Godiva was given away to our neighbor's children by my dad after he definitely saw me sneezing with her nearby. It was mid-December, by the way. A few days later, someone shaved Ozzy completely, making him a pink bear with a black nose.
Oh, that's horrible.
Nobody ever found the mysterious culprit. Then it came. December 16th, my birthday again. My dad must have known what Ben did on my last birthday and decided it was a good idea to outdo him at his own game. So he called all of his musician friends to blast a birthday party rock serenade for me.
To my beloved daughter, you, all the people of the world, rock. This song is for you.
But then, right before the concert started, another group of people appeared. Vikings, Romans, Celts, who knows? They were an army of guys dressed for a historic recreation, waving toy spears.
What is all this, Ben?
There is a time for peace and a time for war, Chris. Men, be ready.
Someone sounded a war horn, and my birthday soon became like the final battle of Endgame. But instead of aliens and superheroes fighting, I had cosplaying history nerds versus elderly musicians incapable of accepting the passage of time. A clash for the century. After watching the battle for a bit, I went home, all set to blow out the candles and dive into the cake. But I found my so-called perfect family in the middle of a loud argument.
What are you even doing here, man? Emma's with her real parents. She doesn't need you anymore. This whole uncle situation is bizarre.
That's true. Explaining it to people is a real pickle.
Say what you want, but I've been her father longer than you.
Well, he has a point. How about that?
Her father? A history nerd with a Willy Wonka mustache? You must be joking.
I don't think Willy Wonka has a mustache. My mother's mediation skills are truly out of this world.
Why don't we let her decide then?
Oh, no!
Yeah, she's old enough to decide who should be your dad.
No, I am not. Mom, you are my last hope. Please stop this madness. Maybe that's for the best. Thanks for nothing, Mom. So that's how it is? You're piling your responsibilities onto me. Why can't you guys understand? I want both of you in my life. But if you can't handle that, I'd rather have neither than choose between you two. I was ready to storm out, but then my dad said something really strange.
Are you happy, Ben? This was your master plan. First you found me. Then you invited me to your cosplay parties and made me realize that I should get back with Emily. Why did you do all that if you didn't want me here?
Everybody's eyes went on Ben at those words. Mine too. What was all that about?
You're absolutely right, Chris. I shouldn't be here at all. I'm really sorry, Emma.
Then Ben darted away, leaving things abruptly. What the hell is going on? I ran after Ben just in time to catch him while he was already at the park, gasping. He doesn't look too good. He fainted the very next moment. Ben! What is going on? Are you okay? Ben? We rushed him to the hospital, and a few hours later, he woke up.
I guess my plan didn't run as smoothly as it did in my mind.
Why did you do all this, Ben?
My heart is breaking, Emma. Literally, the only thing keeping it together is you. I would love to be with you forever, but the doctors made it clear it's impossible. When I found out, I immediately sought your dad and asked him to come back. I wanted someone to be there for you after me, but then when I saw you and him together, I got so jealous. I thought you'd forget me for good.
I already had tears in my eyes again. I could barely force myself to speak. Ben! I will never forget you! And you are not leaving me at all. I had no idea you did all this. Chris didn't tell me anything.
Yes, because I asked him not to. It was a secret quest, eh? Like the ancient knights did. I did it for Emily. I had to. I'm sorry for lying, but...
Cough made it impossible for Ben to go on talking. I just hugged him so hard, as if trying to protect him. A few days later, Ben came back home with us, and it was as if he and Dad were two totally different persons. They put their jealousies and fights aside and became something like best friends. Dad even helped and cared for Ben throughout his illness. One night, when they thought Mom and I were sleeping, I overheard them talk.
I will never be able to thank you enough for bringing me back to my family. What you did is just...
It's okay, Chris. You're a great man. I'm just happy you are in Emma's life. You both deserve each other.
They hugged before wishing each other goodnight. I went to sleep with the biggest smile I had ever worn in my entire life. Now a lot of time has passed, and a lot of things have changed. I'm not a child anymore, and my groom is in front of me, waiting for my, yes, I do. Mom and Dad are by my side, happily together and smiling at me. And even if I can't see you in the same way, Ben, I know you are here too, sitting silently between the seats of this splendid church and looking at me with your peaceful gray eyes. You are as real as the photo of you I have inside of the pearl-shaped necklace I always keep by my heart, as I have promised you. I never forgot you, Ben. All that you did for me, from your silly poems to the way you tied my shoes. You will always live with me. You'll always be my guardian angel. And I am your fair maiden.
Hi everyone, my name is Heron and I live in Seoul, South Korea. I was only 4 years old when I learned that something was very wrong with my mom. Other children always hug and kiss their parents. Why can't we do that, Mommy?
Don't call me that!
She turned to leave and I seized my chance. I dashed to her and embraced her tightly. Just go like this, Mommy, it's easy. She literally ran away from me.
Don't touch me! I'm wearing Chanel!
She didn't truly want anything to do with me. She used maids, butlers, and money to keep me at a distance my entire life. Initially, I believed something was wrong with me. However, my cousin Laki completely disagreed.
Heron, you're my best friend in the whole world because you are perfect. Your mom is just a witch.
I was so jealous. Laki's parents were amazing. Even though they were quite poor and lived all the way in America, they tried to visit every other year. They video called me frequently, and I loved them dearly. One day, Laki called me with some incredible news.
My dad's company just blew up overnight. We're finally gonna be rich!
That's amazing. What's even more incredible is that I can afford tickets to visit you. Ask that witch if I can stay over. I went out to talk to Mom, but she was sitting there with some strange men.
Heron, here you are. Come meet the boy I want you to date.
He what?
He owns diamond mines. Diamonds! You can date him now and get married after college.
No way! Have you gone insane?
Don't you dare insult me in front of everyone!
Don't you dare try to ruin my life. Lucky is right. You're a witch. Her guests laughed and she turned red.
You ungrateful little? Go to your room!
I did go to my room. I also called Lucky and devised my first and best cunning plan. I can't take it anymore. I'm running away from home. Now that your parents are wealthy, can I live with you?
If they say no, I'll hide you in my room. Get over here.
Thankfully, Aunt and Uncle loved the idea and welcomed me there with open arms. They didn't even tell my mom and I could escape without any drama. I finally got away from my crazy mother. And the best part, I was going to live with my best friend Lucky. And I literally jumped and screamed the entire first night. On my second night, reality hit me. I was in a new country, I didn't know the language, and I was going to start at a new school. Yikes. What if everyone hates me? What if they think I look weird?
They won't. I'll translate everything for you and I'll do your hair and makeup.
She did my makeup for practice and it made me want to cry. She literally painted my face and used tape to pull my skin back. She even put tape on my eyes so I had a crease.
See? All we need to do is dye your hair blonde like me and you'll fit right in.
I stopped her. I had gotten away from mom to be myself and love myself. I was going to be fine in my own skin. Turns out I was more than fine. I walked into school for my first day and a boy stopped me in my tracks.
Whoa! I've never seen any girl like you! You're beautiful!
He thinks you're pretty! Oh my god!
Then the boy got down on one knee and asked me out on a date.
He's asking you out? But you just got here. You don't need to pick the first guy in line.
We ran away before we screamed with excitement. I'd never been asked out like that before. The first day was already fun, but only because Lucky was by my side. Without her, everything was suddenly impossible. I didn't understand a word anyone was saying. One boy was trying to warn me about a spider on my shirt, and I didn't get it until it crawled on my face. I didn't even know how to ask the teacher if I could go to the bathroom. I just walked out of class silently and she started yelling at me. I was almost in tears before someone told her I couldn't understand her. One day, Lucky was auditioning for the cheerleading squad, so I went with her for support. We were dancing together for practice when suddenly the cheer squad walked up to us.
Wow, you're an amazing dancer. Who are you?
Lucky introduced me, and the girl asked me to join the cheer squad.
But what about the auditions?
No need for those. We like Heron. Tell her to join us.
Obviously, I turned them down right away. I wasn't going to snatch Lucky's place. She pretended it didn't bother her, but I know that it did. At home, Aunt and Uncle were trying way too hard to be nice to me. They asked me endless questions, and they kept buying me over-the-top gifts. Uncle even bought me a car.
You gave Heron a car before me?
We can get you a car too, sweetie.
You should have thought of me first.
Lakey stormed away and locked herself in her room. I had to slip like 50 apology notes under her door to get her to come out. They just feel bad for me because of my terrible mom. Come on, don't be upset. She came around and I thought things would get better. Until one day when Derek, the cutest guy in school, walked up to us at lunch.
Oh my god, I have such a huge crush on Derek.
Have you told him that?
I dropped major hints the last time we were in class. Maybe he's finally gonna ask me out.
We squealed in delight till he came within earshot. Then Derek walked right past Lakey and stood in front of me.
Wow, you're really cute. I've never seen you here before. Are you new?
I had no idea what he said, but Lucky turned white as a ghost. Derek started saying more things I couldn't understand, and then he just patted my head and left. What was that?
He asked me out on a date.
You? But I feel like he was talking to me?
He was just being shy. He said he wants to take me out to dinner.
Oh, wow! That's amazing! I jumped, but Lucky didn't join me. In fact, she started acting so weird she refused to sit with me at lunch anymore. And she started walking home from school alone. When she went out for a date with Derek, she told some random girl at school all about it instead of me. I barged into their conversation and pulled her away. What's wrong with you? Why are you ignoring me?
Why can't we have our separate lives?
Lucky, you're my best friend. I want to be with you.
So I can keep being your translator all the time. I love you, but Heron, I need some space from you right now. Just be on your own.
Fine, I don't need you either. Just watch me. I joined online classes for English and started taking a book of translations with me everywhere. I was going to learn this language and yell at Lucky in English for being such a jerk. I got better fast. English wasn't as hard as it looked. I could even hold decent conversations on my own. And I made a few friends. We were in the cafeteria one day when Derek walked up to me. He had flowers in his hands and his friend from the band was playing the flute. What?
Heron, I know you didn't want to go out with me then, but I can't stop thinking about you. Will you give me a chance?
What are you talking about? You wanted to go out with me?
I asked you out that day, remember? Lockie said you didn't want to go, so she came on our date instead.
She what? I stared at Lockie with my jaw loose. She was already in tears.
Okay, fine. Derek asked you out, not me. Happy? I was jealous, so I lied and I went to see him.
Are you serious? You're such a freak. What's wrong with you?
Hey, don't talk to her like that.
We missed our date because of this pathetic loser. Jeez, how desperate can you get?
I just lost it. I flew forward and punched Derek right in the face. It was a total blur, and suddenly I was at the principal's office. Derek had an ice pack on his bleeding nose, and my aunt and uncle were getting screamed at. I got suspended from school for a whole week. Lockie and I had the biggest fight ever at home. I would never date someone you had a crush on. How could you be so mean to me over some stupid boy?
It's not about the boy. Ever since you came here, you've just taken over my friends, the cheer squad, the guy I like. You're getting everything. Even my own parents like you better than me.
Lakey, don't say that. You're sisters.
We're cousins. I'm your daughter. But all you want to do is talk to Heron and buy her crazy presents, when I never got treated that way.
We're just trying to make up for past mistakes.
What mistakes?
That was when my aunt told us her final. Lockie and I were non-identical twins. They were my parents. I sat there in shock while my aunt explained how poor they were when we were born and how they had to give me away to her rich sister. Why did you keep Lockie? Why not me?
You were having a lot of medical issues as a baby. We couldn't manage the bills. I thought my sister would take better care of you.
I see. I thought I had one mother who didn't want me. Turns out I had 3 parents and none of them wanted me.
Heron, it's not like that.
I got up and ran to my room. I started packing my things through a haze of tears.
Heron, no, please don't leave. I'm so sorry.
You abandoned me with a monster. You waited 17 years to tell me the truth. Don't pretend you care. I stormed out and didn't look back. Once I was done trusting my family, my heart was broken. I sold the car Uncle gave me and used the money to rent an apartment. Got a job and focused on my studies. I turned my heart to stone. So when Lockie tried to apologize to me 100 times, she always failed. I did miss her a lot, especially during the special moments of my life. When I got into the college of my choice. When I got my first job. On the day of my wedding, I almost called her twice. Lockie had become a huge influencer with millions of followers. She was only a DM away, but I felt too guilty for not making up earlier. My husband and I went hiking in a national park for our honeymoon when suddenly a crazy storm hit us and I got separated from the hiking group. I shouted till I lost my voice, but no one heard me. I walked and walked until I realized I was just moving in circles. I'm not giving up. You can't have me, Forrest. I was lost in that jungle for 3 days and 3 nights. I hid in caves when it rained, and I only survived because of the water and food in my backpack. On the 3rd night, I was about to go to sleep when I suddenly heard people shouting my name. Thank God. I raced out of my cave to see hundreds of people walking in the forest with torches, and the person who was running towards me, screaming her head off, was Lockie. No way, Lockie!
I found you! I found you!
Lockie and I hugged each other so hard we fell to the ground.
I'm so happy you're okay. Oh, thank God.
How are you here?
Who else was gonna find you? My followers work way faster than the police.
I burst into tears and hugged my sister tight. Lockie, I don't know what I would have done without you. I'm so sorry.
Don't you dare say sorry to me. You were the one who got left with that witch. I was all you had, and I was so terrible to you. Just forget everything that's happened before this, today. You saved my life, and I'll love you forever for it. I love you too.
Oh, I've missed you so much. Just then, Mom saw me and she broke down crying.
Heron, you're safe. I thought I'd lost you forever. I'm so sorry, Heron. I'm sorry I gave you away. My baby girl. I just thought I couldn't take care of you. I loved you too much. And if something happened to you just because I couldn't afford the medical care, I would've...
You did your best, Mom. I know you did.
Didn't you just say Mom?
Yes, Mom.
Oh my God.
My mom hugged me again, and Dad joined in seconds later. We cried and laughed together, and my family was finally whole.